Good evening and welcome to another ironic introduction to another video. Today, I feel like I'm finally good enough at Ronin in order to make a guide for the way I believe he should be played, including the fact that I do utilize liquid courage as well as 1 point in willpower to help mitigate that, and why I think that playing around liquid courage and recoil is worth it because of that 30% passive increased damage. As well as the fact that by playing around that, it kind of alters your playstyle. And I think that there's a lot of value in that, as I believe that with his awakened ability, his real strength comes from the fact that you can utilize his awakened ability to bait specials, as literally just running towards your target is the easiest way to bait specials against higher PI opponents, as they are very likely to just use their special when you're very close proximity. And normally that's not something you would want to do, as it's very difficult to react properly in time. But with Ronin, you don't have to react, you just let his 7 stacked cruelty passives do it for you. You press guard afterwards, or if you dex if you're a good enough player, and then you can punish immediately afterwards. So I believe utilizing that mechanic in the game is the best way to get high damage out of him very quickly, as well as I believe an easier way to play him. So that being said, his awakened ability is at 7 cruelty passives. Ronin gains a passive evasion on the next incoming hit for X seconds. This scales, it starts at 0.8 at 20 sig if you are someone who duped him during the arena, and it goes all the way up to 1.5 seconds. I'm under the belief that 1.2 to 1.3 seconds is the sweet spot for this, but I haven't gotten there yet, so I'm unsure. I know that at 1.13 I'm getting clipped by abilities I think I can dodge by just like a fraction of a second. I feel like I'm maybe like 0.1 off from actually evading that like last bullet. But this also removes all of your cruelty passives, and Ronin gains a fury passive for each evaded attack. You should know that this scales all the way up to 177 and change, which is the same as his special 3. So as far as crit attack rating changes, this is exactly the same, except for the duration, which is this is 1/5 the duration of your special 3. So you do have less uptime on your increased damage, but as a result, you do have a lot more survivability, and I think that that's something worth having, especially considering that a lot of these champions have very difficult to evade slash dodge slash block specials, and this can really give you like maximum health values as you play. Additionally, you should know that Ronin is a bleed champion, so you really want to take advantage of those. But when he is against bleed immune champions, he gains a cruelty passive when Ronin would inflict a bleed. For this reason, I think he's actually very strong against a lot of robots, as you are stacking cruelty passives at significantly faster, and you can almost stack them in just 2 combos. So you can alternate 2 combos, full stack your cruelties, and then auto evade immediately, and between stance dancing for precision increase as well as the increased crit damage, I feel like you are getting a damage trade-off in raw damage output. So as long as there's no damage cap, I believe that you're getting a strong damage output, and hopefully I'll be able to showcase that today. I haven't looked up the paths in advance, but I believe that I can find a robot somewhere for you if I look. Additionally, I believe that if you bring Ronin to someone who auto evades, he does gain a cruelty stack in those situations. So if you spam your full combo into someone auto evading and then you immediately block, you can build up cruelty charges very quickly in this way as well, and then utilize your own 100% chance auto evade in order to punish those auto evaders with an intercept. Which I think is a strong way to play, although very difficult. And if you have someone with True Strike that is much better, like Heimdall with his SP1, I think is a much easier way to handle auto evade. But if you're in a situation where you don't have the other options, this is an option for auto evade. So Ronin in general is a stance dancing champion. So you have 3 major stances: guard stance, wraith stance, and demon stance. And so for all intents and purposes, you alternate between these stances by utilizing 1 light attack and then dodge backwards for a guard stance entrance, 2 light attacks and then dodge backwards for a wraith stance entrance, and 3 light attacks and dodge backwards for demon stance entrance. And you alternate between them, as you cannot enter the same stance twice once you've already entered it. Like you can't do them back to back, so you alternate between whatever 2 you decide you would like to utilize for the fight. I will explain which 2 you should decide to use. Additionally, every time you change stances, you gain a precision buff, which increases your chance to critical hit, which is great since you're already stacking critical damage increased with the cruelty passive. And so as far as picking your stances, I recommend utilizing guard stance at the very start of the fight because I run liquid courage. This is a very good way to just immediately remove that poison debuff, as well as enter guard stance anytime you receive other negative debuff effects, as it has a 100% chance to purify a debuff. Unfortunately, this does not remove degeneration, but if it did, I think he would be way higher tier of a champion, but unfortunately it does not, because that is a passive debuff and it's kind of permanent, no way to really remove it. You utilize Wraith Stance if you are trying to counteract armor ups, such as on Iron Man Infinity War. This will allow you to punch into him much more frequently rather than having to wait out those armor ups. And finally, you utilize Demon Stance to get a higher chance to inflict bleeds. I think that staying in Demon Stance and then falling back and doing repeated combos is a really good way to build max cruelty charges against bleed immune champions, and with abusing Demon Stance, I believe you can stack cruelty 7 in just 2 combos very quickly, just by going in, getting your 5 combo, and then blocking, dodging back to enter Demon Stance, and then re-going in. I believe you can hit 7 cruelty stacks very quickly. As for specials, I believe the special one is only worth using if you are absolutely concerned about the defensive abilities, because it only reduces it by 40%. If this stacks, that's great, but you do take that recoil damage with the mastery setup I'm running, and I don't find that as worth it. I'd rather just have to deal with the defensive abilities unless I know that I absolutely cannot. I believe the special 2 is only worth using if you think it's going to end the fight, as it's really just flat damage with a bleed. And while it is a lot of damage, because I'm running Liquid Courage to mitigate this usage of specials and go for more of a defensive playstyle with Ronin, I believe that taking that recoil damage is not worth. And finally, for special 3, I believe this is worth using when you have 7 cruelty stacks, if you are not worried about dodging or baiting specials, such as if you have like a special 1 enhanced or more likely to use special 2 node, in which case you know that it's very easy to bait those specials. But otherwise, I believe that right after you've completed auto evading, you can use your special 3 for some free damage. You don't have to worry about punishing, as you might potentially get parried as a result of trying to dash in. So that being said, the masteries I run for Ronin, slash I believe are worth running for Ronin, as I don't have them all unlocked, are your basic attack masteries to begin with, as well as Liquid Courage. I don't run Double Edge, as I feel while you could remove this in longer quest chains, you do take a lot of damage from this over time, and unless you can run the defensive ability to mitigate that damage, I feel that Ronin has too low of a health pool in order to really optimize that to the best of his ability. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't really play test that yet, as I don't have those masteries unlocked. Plus, they're very expensive, so I personally believe that this top tree, because the Liquid Courage can be almost fully mitigated with just 1 point in willpower, I believe that it's better to go for Liquid Courage first, whereas the poison debuff is much tougher to mitigate. Additionally, if you can afford it, I believe maxing out Despair is a very strong usage on Ronin, as you can get that utility for heal and regeneration reduction. And then finally, Deep Wounds. I don't feel like I have to justify this one, as he is a bleed champion. This is just going to emphasize that fact. As far as defensive abilities, I said willpower. Again, from there, I think this is just a standard setup. I actually run 3 points energy, 2 points physical resistance, as in my opinion you are parrying a lot of physical attacks, and so you get that damage reduction from parry, whereas with energy I feel like you might be blocking or dexing a lot, and so if you make a mistake or you are just flat blocking, I think that taking less damage from that is more valuable here. And finally, I don't have them unlocked, but I believe Petrify is very valuable, as you run such short combos on Ronin that sometimes you might even fully prevent them from gaining 100% power as when they are stunned after a parry. And so with your short combos especially, this will really help you build up cruelty passives while keeping them at low charge for specials. So finally, just into how I believe you play him when fighting. I personally believe you start with a guard stance and then alternate between one of the other two stances until you get to 7 stacks. And then when you are at 7 stacks, you stay in whichever stance is necessary for the fight. So if you are concerned about baiting a special, stay in guard stance 1 in case you need to block. If you are, for a parry kind of bait, if you are concerned about defensive abilities, stay in wraith stance. And if you know you can just punch them and beat them up, stay in wraith stance and do full combos, as you don't need to worry about any kind of punishment otherwise. For combos, after an intercept with a medium dash, follow up with your light combo and dodge backwards, as ending with a medium combo here will break your light combo and you will not enter a new stance. After an intercepting with a light attack, you can complete your light combo, medium attack once, and then dodge back. It's important to note that essentially when you are trying to add cruelty passives, you can only medium attack once in your combo. So no matter how it needs to be done, you can get that one medium attack for boosted damage, but nothing more than that. And after a parry, I recommend utilizing a light combo for whatever stance you're trying to enter, followed by a medium attack, as he does an overhand blade strike, and it's very easy to dodge backwards afterwards without being punished, or potentially parry if you are strong enough and confident in your ability to react. So at the beginning of the fight, I believe you have 3 major ways to start the fight. You can do a quick draw, which is just a quick light attack followed by a dodge backwards to immediately remove that poison. This is very good if you're at earlier chapters and are confident in your ability to play aggressive. And as well as arena, if you're not worried about being punished, as losing that health is not as detrimental. You can do a parry attempt, which is probably the best value against higher PIs, as they're very aggressive. And then you can follow up with your guard stance change to immediately remove poison. Or if you're not confident in your ability to play perfectly, I would suggest just a dodge start so that you can dodge and guard and then play safely and properly set up your stances from there. Other than that, I think I would like to go into some quests to just kind of show you guys some gameplay. Sorry, pardon me. Unfortunately, I'll try some Realm of Legends after I've shown you some Road to the Labyrinth, but I'm hoping that I can jump in here, kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, show you guys how he handles. I haven't actually seen this path in advance, so these will be all new fights for me. But I can kind of just show you how I believe he works in action. And then, let's see how long this is. Oh, that's right, it won't let you look. Okay, so it's not crazy long, but we're starting with a storm, so there's no bleed problem there, so we should be okay. Oh, it should be noted that if you're going up and against an abomination, do not bring Ronin. He will absolutely obliterate you. He is a champion who just completely denies bleed. So I would not bring him there. Typically, because I run such a variety team, I tend not to bring Ronin into fights against mutants, because while he's still strong against many mutants, I try not to do it, as I just don't like that damage down. It makes me feel bad. This is just an enhanced special 1. This should be relatively easy, and we'll see how it goes from here. These are lower PI fights, so you'll have to understand that I'm going to do a quick draw here, followed by a parry, 3-hit light attack. And then I'm going to stance back into guard for a perfect block chance, and then she's dead. Quick and easy. And now I know these are lower PI fights, so I can be punished a lot easier, as while I think I'm good enough to make this guide, I don't think I am anywhere near perfect play. And 2, it lets me showcase things like quick draw and the value of quick draw for how quickly it procs. But as you can see, I took barely any damage from Liquid Courage there. I mean, I'm still sitting at 100%. Quick draw here, guard stance, parry, 3-hit combo, medium end, dodge back, and then we can punish with the medium attack combo here. And you can see I'm staying in wraith form because I've brought him low enough that just attacking into his block will let me proc more bleeds and end the fight. In longer fights, I would recommend switching back into guard stance so you can get another parry, but I knew that the fight would end there. A lot of the time when I play Ronin, I don't know where players typically look, but I know that there is a counting strategy, right? You count every hit and you alternate between it. Personally, I just watch the logo in the top left as it changes and shows you what stance you're currently in, and for that reason you are able to just kind of watch. So you go 1, 2, 3, you can dash back, I'm going to repeatedly enter Demon Stance here as I get hit. Yeah, so it looks like I'm going to have to jump into Realm of Legends after this in order to show you the special evading. Those fights aren't particularly hard, but I know that I'm not a good enough player to clear it, so I'll get as far as I can. Hopefully I can at least beat the first fight, even though I've never actually done it, and I know he's got a ton of health. But we'll see. Maybe I'm good enough. But hopefully I can at least show you special evading. I'm going to quick draw here, dodge back. No parry, unfortunately. Oh, it should also be noted that if you are strong enough of a player, good enough of a player to intercept, he does get bonus damage for intercepting. So that is something to consider. Oh, I meant to dodge back there. Okay, here we can try to bait out a special here. Just to show you. Sorry, I was going for the dex there and I got the parry. I'll show you. It will happen at least in the Realm of Legends because of how much more health he has. It will be much easier for me to show you that auto evade. You get a lot of extra damage from that, but you can see that, you know, unfortunately with these lower PI opponents, it's much more difficult to show you the real strength of him over long fights, as he does do a lot of damage. But this one has armor up, so I'll stay in wraith stance here. This is just an aggressive playstyle. I would not recommend playing like this against higher PI opponents, as you'll get punished. So typically, if you dodge back, medium attack in, higher PI opponents will repeatedly intercept you, and Ronin is incredibly squishy. The reason I believe he is such a high skill ceiling is because if you make a mistake, you will die. I mean, the reason I run Heimdall, I wish I had an Angela for the heal synergy, but if you medium dash in and they intercept you, you will eat 60 to 70% of your health just off of a 5-hit combo from pretty much anyone. 3-hit combo, I don't have to worry. Parry again, guard stance, parry again. And with a medium attack, I'm going to just dash in forward. I'm in demon stance, and you can see I reproc my bleed debuff again for extra damage. And so in that sense, if you're not worried about them intercepting you, switching into demon stance and just punching them can end fights really quickly, even though you're attacking into a block. And if that was a robot, I would be building cruelty passive charges, which is very strong. Okay, a stun immune. So I get to show you guys only evades and intercepts. So I'm going to actually start with a quick draw here because he's low enough. Actually, you know what? I won't, just to show you the value there. And we'll dash in. We'll hold block here in case he hits us. Oh. And then we'll use his guard here to switch stances. Punish. Oh, not fast enough. He's blocking, so we can use that to switch stances. Punish. And end the fight. So these are very quick. I am going to switch to Realm of Legends so you guys have a longer, higher HP fight. I am a newer player, so this is my first clear through on this, so I kind of just want to finish it just to be efficient. I'll put a timestamp in here actually for you guys. I'm still working on how to set it up so it's actually linked, so you guys have an ability to just click it and it will auto jump to. When I have that figured out, hopefully I'll be able to do that proper for future videos, but I'll stick a timestamp in the description for you guys so you can jump straight to the Realm of Legends fight if you don't want to see these lower tier power index fights. But you should know, as far as strong playstyle, this is really where I'm going to shine, because I'm not quite good enough yet to really optimize. But who knows, maybe today will be the day that I prove I'm not the worst Ronin player you'll ever meet. So it should be noted that when you're using the auto evade, you should use it on multi-hit special portions. You don't want to try to evade the whole special, as I believe the interaction doesn't work because it's multiple attacks. But it's still very good for dodging bullets. I believe Winter Soldier does a double bullet tap, so you can get 2 from that. I don't have a better synergy team yet. I wish I had Heimdall synergy teams for the heal. or any kind of fear passive. Yeah, so he does a double shot that you can use the auto evade on, and it counts both. Things like Iron Man's laser, I believe, procs 2 fury stacks. But we'll see how far we can get into this, if I can clear it at all. I've never cleared this. This is like my second time doing this. I've only done it once to play test. Nice, got an intercept there. Parry. Repeated parries. See, I got a fury buff here. Use that to bait the special. Alrighty, I got to show you the auto evade, full punish into an immediate special 3. You can see that I'm at 93% even though I've blocked quite a few specials. I'm a better player with dex those gun bullets, but I'm not quite sure what the timing is on those yet. I think I have to do them right when he pulls them out of his holster. Oh, immediate punish. Yeah, that's a lot of damage, but if I can switch over, I should have, if I was quicker, I would have been able to remove those poison debuffs. Yeah, so right after he pulls them out of his holster is when you're supposed to... Oh, I should have parried that. Guard stance, run at him. So you can see I got 2 evades there for free. Even though I was bad, it did help mitigate my mistake. Okay, so I got to show you guys a highlight of him against higher tier. If I was a better player, or if I maybe brought him up to 550, I might have done a lot better there. Especially if you have a higher ranked version of him, I think he shows up as power level a lot more. But as you can see, I did chunk 70,000 off of Winter Soldier, even though I've never really fought him before. I have popped into here once before with him just to see how I could do, and I got obliterated almost immediately, so I don't really count that. But hopefully this guide, this gameplay really helps you guys learn how to play Ronin. Maybe I've convinced you that running Liquid Courage and playing with this kind of defensive pseudo playstyle is really optimal. Maybe not optimal, but I believe that this is a really strong way to play Ronin and not something that people will typically do, as they will want to spam special 1 for the utility or spam special 2 for the bleed damage. I think that the real strength comes from utilizing his awakened ability to the max. So that said, I hope you guys have a great one, and I'll talk to you later.